Fabulous. And I'm going to take my slippers off. I just realized I still have my slippers on. So let's find a comfortable seat, whatever that means for you today. I'm going to sit up on my trusty blanket here, and I'm going to be cognizant about how I cross my legs. So I know my tendency is to always put my one leg in front. And so today I'm being really conscious of putting my other leg in front, trying to break that pattern. And so if you know you always sit the same way, maybe take a moment to switch it up, right? Springtime is a nice time to start to disrupt patterns that we might have in our lives, because the stability that is inherent in the elemental makeup of the season gives us more stability to make shifts that perhaps need to happen. And so now's a good time to make changes, right? So we get at this idea in January, like January 1st, we're going to change everything. We're going to have all these wonderful habits built into our lives, and we're going to get rid of bad habits and da-da-da-da-da. It's actually a really bad time to do that. Now is a really good time to do that because of that inherent stability. So maybe it's something as simple as changing the cross of your legs. Maybe it's something else. Maybe you're giving up something that you don't want to do, or adopting a habit that you do want to do. Whatever it is, let's come together now, pressing the heels of the hands into the upper thighs. A little press down, lean forward. You're in charge of the pressure, right? We've done this 1,000 times, but can you come to it with fresh interest, with curiosity? How is it today? And then let's go side to side, pressing into one thigh, leaning away, turn to look up at the sky. Nice. And then back through center over to the other side. And going back and forth. Maybe you're making a big lean like I am, leaning all the way as far as you can. Maybe it's just a little bit of a lean. It's up to you. And then coming back to neutral a couple of times, running the heel of the hand from the hip towards the knee, working your way around the leg. Nice. And then taking the hands to the side ribs. Let's lift ourselves up, right? Hopefully it's sunny where you are. It's sunny here. Looks like it's going to be quite a beautiful day for the most part. Let's turn a little from left to right. Wringing out the body. Getting an opportunity to clear the channels. Then coming back to neutral, let's inhale the arms up in a wide V, drawing the thumbs towards the wall behind you, any amount. Drop the tailbone, lift the chin. Nice big inhale here. And then exhale, hands float to the lap, chin comes parallel to the floor. Perhaps you close the eyes here if you feel safe and comfortable to do so. And in your seated position now, notice how you've ended up. So take stock. Left side, right side, pubic bone, tailbone. Is there any little micro, or maybe perhaps not so micro, adjustments that need to happen? What do you need to do to feel centered physically? Right? Bringing ourselves into our seated position gives us that opportunity to take stock, again, internally. And then could you set up the structure? So lifting the navel up and back, tailbone is heavy. Lift and spread the collarbones, the shoulder blades move down. Arm bones are heavy, palms of the hands open and receptive. And then soften the throat. And sometimes that means you need to even swallow. So if you have tension in the throat, especially if you've been doing a lot, wrapped up in things that are causing you stress, whether it's that you're watching the news or there are things in your lives, veterinary visits, whatever it is, Just if you've got stress in your life and it feels like it's centering your throat, sometimes swallowing can help to break up that tension. Or perhaps you carry your tension in your jaw. Let's relax that by dropping the bottom jaw away from the top jaw, letting the tongue rest in the floor of the mouth. Soften the bridge of the nose, relax the cheekbones, relax the eyes. Spread the eyebrows. Smooth the forehead. Relax the skin at the temples. Relax the inner ears. And then breathe. Notice that you're breathing. Notice that you're still breathing, especially if it's been stressful. Right? Remembering that all we need to do is breathe is really helpful when we're feeling overwhelmed. So taking a few breaths now, giving yourself that opportunity to experience the rhythm that is uniquely yours. Right? In yoga and Ayurveda, we're always talking about different rhythms, the rhythm of the year, the rhythm of the seasons, the rhythm of the day. But then there's the internal rhythm of your breath, of your heartbeat, of your own personal interior landscape, right? The rhythms that happen there. So take a moment, get real still, notice the inhalation, the exhalation, let everything else fall away. Then bringing the hands together in front of the heart, palm against palm, fingers elongated. Lift the sternum, broaden the collarbones. Let's vocalize together. Let's make sound together. Chanting the sound of Om 3 times and then our invocation. Go ahead, exhale fully, let go of all the breath you currently have. Then inhale fully to begin. Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu, Saha Viryam Karavavahai, Tejasvina Vaditamastu, Ma Vidvashavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, let your hands float to your lap, let your chin come towards your chest. Again, noticing internally now, recognizing if there is a need, an intention, any small voice within that's telling you anything. And don't be alarmed if there's nothing. Sometimes it's just silence, and that's okay. Sometimes there's something very specific, and it might just be an emotion, it might just be a feeling, there might not actually be words, that's okay. Then start to flutter the eyelids open, taking in form and color and space. And then as you inhale, raise the gaze, and as we do, look out, look around. If you have a window, look out that window. Look at the sunshine if it's there, look at trees. Look at something from the natural world, or if you don't have a window, look at something beautiful in your space. Yes. And then coming back to neutral, let's unpack the legs. Oh, iron them out. We're going to go right into a chest opener. So we're going to use the blocks this morning. And so I'm moving my blanket out of the way. taking my 2 blocks, and we've done this before. I really like opening the chest in the spring because things can get a little bronchial, right? So if we think about the spring, it's earth and water. And if you live in New England, you know why. It's mud season, right? I mean, it's a little still frozen, but when it's not frozen, it's very muddy. And we get muddy internally. So opening the chest helps us to counteract that. So here's my suggestion. I've got a medium block, long edges of the block parallel to the long edges of the mat. And then I've got a tall block to catch my head, and they're closer together than you think. If this seems like too much, then you'll just flip each block down a level, right? Not every body likes this much height, but you're gonna see what you can do. I'm gonna get the bottom tip of my shoulder blade right on the edge of that first block, and then my head goes to the second block. And it might take a moment or two. You have to do a little sorting out here. Maybe you're rocking a little side to side. Maybe you came down on the tall blocks and you decide, oh no, that's too much. And you have to make another choice. That's okay. It's all right, right? Do the needful. You might decide to extend the legs. I tend to keep the knees bent with the feet flat on the floor. It's a big angle for the low back, and especially first thing off the bat, might not feel great. So you could just keep your knees bent, but if you're curious, you could always experiment. What does it feel like to have the legs extended? Not loving how it feels in my pelvis, so I'm bending the knees again. Arms are to the side to start, and they're out almost in a T shape, maybe just below the line of the shoulder. Backs of the hands are on the floor. Chin is tucked slightly towards the chest. And then here's the first thing I want you to do to help clear out any stagnation in the cervical spine and the base of the skull, is just slowly, because you don't want to fall off the blocks, slowly take your head from left to right. And it's so slow. And you might find a spot you want to linger. You got to make sure you don't fall off the block, so it's really important that the block underneath your head is stable. So if you came down and that block ended up a little angled or something like that, you might have to adjust it. This is my favorite. So if you've been deep in your phone, let's say, I'm guilty of it too, so don't feel bad. But if you've been deep in your phone or deep in a device or even just reading a lot on a couch or sitting in some weird position, I feel like this can help to clear that out. And as you feel ready, let's take the head back to neutral, and we'll work with the upper back and the shoulders. So we're going to lift the arms up towards the sky. For now, the palms of the hands are facing each other. Then I want you to bend the elbows out to the sides of the room. So now the biceps are coming off the torso at 90 degrees. Turn the palms of the hands to face the wall in front of you. And then let the backs of the hands fall back in line with the elbows. So now you're in like a goalpost pose. Your arms should not right now be touching the earth. And the back of your hand and your elbow are parallel to the floor. So I'm not letting my hand do this floppy thing down towards the earth, nor am I tilting it up towards the sky. I'm trying to find this very parallel position. Now for some folks, you might have to hold the arms up a little higher than the shoulder line. Others, you can let them drop down quite far. And then we're going to sort of, I call it glide from left to right. So you kind of lean the torso of the body off to one side. Maybe your forearm even comes to the earth, and then you go over to the other side. Right? So we're just kind of sliding ourselves, leaning ourselves from side to side. And in this way, we're getting an opportunity to massage the upper back and open up the pectoral muscles. Can often get locked short, right? And because we're holding our arms in this position, we're activating the rhomboid muscles, which often get locked long. So it's really a multi-purpose action here, and you get the bonus of massage. It's so good. All right, one more time to either side. Then coming back to neutral. I like to draw my elbows close to my torso and then bring the arms back down to the floor. Just feels a little more easy in the shoulder. Then we're just taking a breath here. Then we're going to see, could we come up off the block? So if you're protecting your spine for any reason, you can just roll off the blocks to one side. Others, I want you to take your hands to your head, inhale here, and then on your first exhale, I want you to lift the head off the block that it's on and look between your knees. And if your legs aren't bent, go ahead and bend your knees, put your feet on the floor. And then now your skull's situated on top of the spine. You reach the arms forward, inhale, and then exhale and see if you can just sit right up off that block. Your experience may vary, and if you need to move your feet forward to make it easier, you can do that. Now reach around and grab the block that was behind your head and bring it in front of you. I'm holding that wide block between the palms of my hands. I'm going to inhale here, lift the chest. Then as I exhale, I'm going to lean back, scoop the belly, and see if I can tap my shoulder blades on that block. Then I'm going to inhale to sit on up. So this is our beginner pattern. Exhale, tap the shoulder blades. Inhale, lift up off that block. If you need to make it harder, you could step the feet closer to the buttock. If you need to make it easier, step the feet far away. Right? So you're deciding your level here, and you're keeping the navel engaged. It's like someone took an ice cream scoop and scooped out your belly, right? You're trying to get away. It's like someone's trying to tickle you right on your stomach, and you're like, nope, trying to get away from it. Now there's another way to make this harder. Next time you inhale and come up, lift the block overhead. Then as you exhale, tap the shoulder. So now as we inhale, we're lifting the block. As we exhale, we tap the shoulder. So this is level 2. You're like, okay, all right. So level 3 would be to flip the block behind you to its flat aspect. And if you've already had it there, then, well, if you wanted it to be easier, you could flip it up. So now we've got a flatter block. We've got a little bit farther of a distance to go. Exhaling, scoop the belly, block comes in front. Inhale, maybe you're lifting the block overhead. And then of course you know there's another level. Level 4 is to take the block behind your shoulder blades away and tap your shoulder blades to the floor. Exhaling to come down, scoop the belly, inhale to come up. Now if you get to a higher level and you're like, ooh, I made a mistake, you can always go back. That's okay. Nice. All right. Now wherever you are, the opportunity to add on is here. When you come back to tap the shoulders on the floor, I want you to pass the block underneath one leg. Then we inhale to come up. Exhale, tap the shoulders, pass the block under one leg. So I'm lifting the leg off the floor, passing the block, and then coming up. Lifting the foot off the floor, passing the block, and then coming up. So maybe you've still got a block behind you, maybe not. Gorgeous. The closer the feet are to you, as you come up, the easier or the harder it is. But the farther you tap the foot away when you come down, the harder it is. So there are all these little ways that you can make it harder or easier depending on what feels right to you. Woo, and you start to build heat pretty quickly. Let's do 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Put the block to the side. Take the soles of your feet together. Lean forward any amount, just a little Bharadvajasana stretch. You might Sway the torso a little side to side. I know it's not conventional, but it can feel very nice. Gorgeous. And then let's set up to stretch the legs in Supta Padangusthasana. So I've got my blanket ready to go for my head, neck, got my strap nearby, got my block nearby, and I'm coming to lay down. And after all that shenanigan of the core work, it feels pretty nice. Take the head a little side to side. Let go of tension. Maybe you're taking the knees from side to side, the head in opposition. Why not? Unwind any tension that might have accumulated. I doubt you're feeling chilly anymore, that's for sure. Gorgeous. And then let's get set up. So I've got a flat block at my outer right hip for now. On an exhalation, I'm going to draw that right knee into the chest. So a little wind relieving pose. Shoulder blades are heavy. Make sure there's no tension in the neck. And then scooping up our strap, we'll slide the strap over the ball of the foot and extend that leg up towards the sky. Make sure the back of the hip is heavy. And then extend that left leg onto the floor. Beautiful. Open the back of that right knee. Be curious, how much space can you bring? And then press the back of the left leg down into the earth, lengthening the back of the neck. Both straps now go into the right hand. Left arm reaches out to the left. Inhale to get long. And then as you exhale, take that right leg out and down to the right. Plug the upper right arm bone into the shoulder socket. Move the tailbone towards the inner left heel. Lower abdomen rolls from left to right. Upper abdomen rolls from right to left. Nice full inhalations. Complete exhalations. One more deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, we're bringing the leg back up to neutral. Listen carefully. You're going to take your block, or maybe you have a second block, that's fine. And you're going to put it on the tall aspect outside your left hip, because we're going to do the twisted version of Supta Padangusthasana, Supta Padangusthasana 3. So both straps now in the left hand. You've got your tall block ready to catch your inner right thigh. Right arm goes out to the right, back of the hand is on the earth. We inhale here, then we exhale, and we take ourselves all the way over to the left. So I'm rolling onto my outer left foot, my outer left hip. I just happened to run into my wall, which was a happy accident, but my upper thigh, my upper inner thigh is on that tall block because I don't want this leg to drop below the line of the hip. Then I'm actively pressing my outer left leg into the floor. Let's take our right thumb, just for now, just for giggles, into the right hip crease and push the outer upper thigh away, elongating both sides of the torso and getting a little external, tiny bit of external rotation in that upper thigh. It should feel good, right? It's a nice stretch, getting spaciousness there. And then we can let that right arm move out to the right, and then anyone who wants to could turn their head to look out over that right arm. Nice full inhalation, complete exhalation. One more inhale, and then as we exhale, bent knee or straight leg, we're taking that right leg back up to neutral. Put the straps in both hands again, and then take the leg a little towards you, a little away, a little towards you, a little away. Then exhale. Release the leg from the strap, both legs on the floor. Take a moment. Let yourself notice any similarities, any differences from side to side. And then I'm going to flip the block at the outer left hip flat. I'm bending both knees. For now, the right foot comes to the floor and the left knee comes into the chest. And you're either interlacing the hands over the shin or folding the hands between the thigh and the calf. Relax your shoulder blades into the earth. Breathe into this hip. So we're little Ardha Parvanmuktasana first. Little half wind relieving pose. Letting the inner groin soften. Building space in the back of the body. And then scooping up our strap around the ball of the foot, leg towards the sky. Letting the back of the hip be weighty, right? How heavy can you make it? Well, at the same time, lifting the heel bone. Yawning open the back of the leg. And then let's extend the right leg onto the earth. Right leg moves to the right 2 inches. Back of the leg is pressing firmly. Nice. Tailbone moving towards that inner right heel. Then both sides of the strap in the left hand. Right arm reaches out to the right. Palm of the hand is down. Why? Because you can grip onto the floor a little bit here. It acts as a counterbalance. Then inhale, lengthen that left leg. Exhale, take the left leg out and down to the left. Plug the upper left arm bone into the shoulder as you move your tailbone again towards the inner right heel. Press the back of the right leg down. Then lower abdomen rolls to the left, upper abdomen rolls to the right. Nice full breaths. Relax the jaw. We get a moment to soak in the pose. Nice. Then inhale here. Exhale, take the leg back up to neutral. Now we've got to move a block unless you already have one ready. So I'm taking my tall block to the outer right hip, planting it there, then switching both straps into the right hand. Left arm reaches out to the left. This time the palm of the hand is up. Why? To keep the shoulder blade moving down. Because as we exhale and take that left leg over to the right, rolling onto the outer right hip, outer right foot, we want the shoulder to stay down. And if we've got the palm down, that head of the shoulder is going to lift off the floor. And it's a little uncomfortable there. Nice. So we found our shape. I'm pulling a little on the strap around the foot, helping to keep the femur bone on that left leg socked into the hip socket. And then I can take my left thumb and hook it into the hip crease and then pushing the top outer thigh away, right? Giving myself that adjustment. And if we were in the room together, I would go around and grab with my fingers and pull that top of thigh down. Yes. Gorgeous. Take another breath here. And then we can lengthen that left arm back out to the left. Anyone who wants to can turn to look over the left shoulder. Nice full inhalation, complete exhalation. One more inhale here. Then as we exhale, we bring the leg back up to neutral. Spread those straps back out. Then take the leg a little towards you, a little away, a little towards you, a little away. Then exhale. Release to the floor. And take a few breaths here. Take a few breaths here. Inhaling, exhaling. Notice how the body has transformed. Notice how things have started to shift. Right? When we give ourselves those opportunities for stillness, to be quiet and notice, we really gather quite a bit of information. Then draw the knees into the chest. Give yourself a little hug and a little rocking from side to side. Smoothing out the back body. And then hands on the bent knees. Let's steer the knees around in a circle. A few times in one direction, a few times in the other. And then rolling coming to one side. Use the hands to help yourselves up. If you've still got socks on, we probably want to remove them now so we can have a little traction on the earth. Coming to our hands and knees. Let's go for it. Let's take a little cat and cow just for a moment, planting the hands directly underneath the shoulders, knees directly underneath the hips. Inhaling, lifting the tailbone, the chest. Beautiful. Rolling the eyes towards the eyebrows. And then exhale, tailbone down, navel to spine. Head comes down. Roll your eyes towards your chin. Going back and forth as it feels good to you. Being really methodical, finding your way from point A to point B, and giving yourself the opportunity to exist in a simple rhythm. Right now our rhythm is externally expressed, the rhythm of our breath. Nice. Coming to a neutral spine, reaching through the crown of the head, the tailbone. Lift the navel, lift the heart. Inhale here. Exhale, wag the tail to the right. Turn to look over the right shoulder. Inhale through center. Exhale, second side. Again, back and forth. Yes. Nice. Coming back to neutral. Okay. Adho Mukha Svanasana or alternative. I want your index fingers to be parallel. Nice. Turning the inner elbows forward. So I bend my elbows out to the side. I scoop them underneath and then I lift the shoulders away from the wrists, right? We've played with that action before. Then tucking the toes under. Push the floor away. Lift the hips up and back. Beautiful. And then if there's any little action that needs to happen here in the feet or in the hips, go ahead and go for it. Maybe you're pedaling the feet out a little bit. Maybe you're twisting the hips a little side to side. Right? It's all just fine. Maybe you're playing around with lifting the heels and then stretching them down and back. You can do this in your L shape if you're not weight bearing on the arms. All works out very well. Don't hit down on the tops of the shoulders, so think of lifting up and off. Inner thighs moving back, back, back. Gorgeous. Take another breath wherever you are. And then walk the hands back towards the feet. Coming to Uttanasana, standing forward bend. Nice. Letting the head dangle towards the earth. Giving yourself some space here. Maybe you even shake the head a little no, a little yes. Gorgeous. And then hook your thumbs into your hip crease. Draw the hips back, back, back as you lengthen the spine. Soften the knees. Inhale. And then as you exhale, come up. So using that exhalation to get that little bit of abdominal control. Now I'm hoping everyone has a chair. We're going to take our chairs to the center of our mat with the seats facing forward. We're going to do a little Bharadvajasana twist in the chair, which is going to feel quite nice and also means that we get to sit in the chair like God intended. Right? So often we do crazy things with the chair, and we will be doing something interesting with the chair here in a minute, but just find a chair. It doesn't have to be a folding chair. It can be any chair that you can sit in. And then you're going to take your block and put it between your thighs, but I want your long edge of the block parallel to the floor. So instead of, sometimes we put it so that the long edge of the block is perpendicular to the thigh bone. Today I want you to have it so that the long edge of the block is parallel to the thigh bone, right? So the block is running down the inner thigh. And then we're going to go ahead and turn to our right. We're going to turn to our right. So we're turning to our right. So now I'm sitting with my right side to the chair. Make sure your buttocks are all the way back so that your full thigh bone is in connection with the chair. And then look down at your feet. We want them to be parallel, the index toes parallel. So I'm looking down at my feet, making sure they're directly underneath my knees so they're not too far forward and they're not too far back. They're right there. Gorgeous. And I'm squeezing that block between the thighs. From here, let's inhale the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, turn to the right. Beautiful. So my right hand is pushing, my left hand is pulling. Now, if you're like most people, that left knee is trying to go forward. What I want you to do is to press into the sole of the right foot and let the right knee make up the space, right? So you're letting that right knee come forward. It might be that you have to turn back and look at your knees. That's okay. Nice. And then push the sides of the chair down, lift the elbows slightly, inhale to get long, and then exhale to turn. Nice. Keep thinking of drawing that right femur bone back into its hip socket as you press the right sole of the foot down. So the left thigh is moving back into its hip socket. The right foot is pressing into the earth. Navel back, tailbone heavy. Nice. And then keep the torso turning to the right. You're going to take your head up and over that left shoulder. Getting a little counter twist at the top of the spine. And then turn your head all the way back to the right shoulder. Take another inhale. And then exhale to release. Ooh, it's a powerful twist. Let's go to the other side. You got to kind of hold on to your block as you scoot yourself around. I know, it's weird to sit side saddle in a chair. Anyone else used to get in trouble for sitting in the chair weird when you were a kid? I was always getting in trouble. I was a weird kid though. I know that's probably shocking. All right, so make sure your feet are parallel. Index toes are parallel. Big toe ball mound, outer heel. I'm squeezing the block between the thigh. I'm starting to press that left foot down even here because I'm noticing that my knees are trying to already come out of true. Tailbone heavy, so I'm sitting right over my sits bones. Let's inhale the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, turn into the back of the chair. So now my left hand is pressing and my right hand is pulling. That's what helps me turn. But then I'm going to glance back at my knees. Oh, sure enough, the right knee is trying to win. Don't let the right knee win. So I'm pressing into the sole of the left foot. I'm drawing the right femur bone back into its hip socket, navel back, tailbone heavy, and then it's like I'm trying to pull the sides of the chair down. That helps me to lift the circumference of the diaphragm off the circumference of the pelvis. My elbows lift slightly out to the side. That helps to keep your collarbones broad. We're going to inhale to lengthen and exhale to turn. Nice. Keep the tailbone heavy, navel back. And then keep the torso turning to the left. Take just the head over to the right. Nice. And then turn the head all the way towards the left shoulder. And then exhale to release. Good job. Really good job. We can get rid of the block. We're going to come up to standing. Nice twisting. And then we're going to still use the chair, but we're going to take the chair to the back right side of our mat, and I'm going to turn the back of the chair forward. So now I've got my front long edge of the mat, my back long edge of the mat. I've got my chair turned around so the seat's facing behind me, and so I've got the top of the chair there, and it's at the right side of my mat. You with me? I know, lots of instructions today. It's because I want to do a very specific version of triangle pose. So we're going to come to stand in Tadasana, just because we can. So feet hips distance apart today. Big toe ball mound, outer heel. Right, when we're dealing with lots of earth and water in the environment, we want to allow there to be ether, space in our poses to help counteract that. So big toe ball mound, outer heel, lifting up through the crown of the head. Nice. Take the hands to the tops of the pelvis, right at the hips. Press the pelvis down as you lengthen. And then taking the middle fingers to touch above the shelf of the heart while inhaling, bend the knees. And I would step the feet apart this morning. Just because the chair's there, I don't want you to jump and accidentally crack your foot on it. Nice. Stretch the arms wide and then bring the hands to the hips. We're going to kick that left heel out slightly. And then we're going to turn the whole right leg out from the root. The whole right leg turns out from the root. We're going to bend the knee, lift the heel. You know the drill, letting this leg organize itself, let's say. And then plant the heel and straighten the leg 99.9%. Gorgeous. Keep your pelvis as best you can squared to the front long edge of the mat. And then let's inhale that right arm up towards the sky. And then I'm going to place my hand. You might have to move the chair, but it ends up at the outer corner of the top of the chair. Depending on the type of chair you're using, you might be grabbing the side of the chair. So I'm planting the chair here. And then we're going to turn the torso from right to left. Nice. Turn the torso from right to left. And then extend the left arm at an angle. So here we are, very easy triangle pose. This still counts as a triangle pose. I know. Try to press through the feet. Don't let that front knee lock. And then we're going to see, let's take that left hand to the left hip. And then we're going to take our right hand maybe to the seat of the chair. So I'm not going over the back of the chair. The way my chair is, I can just put my hand here on the seat of the chair. If I was working with like a kitchen chair or something, I might grab the side of the chair somewhere along the leg. I might have to move the chair a little closer. We want the arm to be more or less underneath the shoulder, right? So I know everyone's working with a slightly different chair, so you're just going down a step, right? So we're at the very top of the chair. Now we're going down a step. And we're still turning the torso from right to left. And then we can extend the left arm out from the left collarbone. Beautiful. Yes, gorgeous. All right, bring the left hand back to your left hip. So this is where I'm going to turn around to show you where we're going so you're not lost. So I have to move the chair in even a little closer. And now I'm going to try to take my right hand down towards the leg of the chair. Right? And again, I'm trying to get my arm more or less underneath my shoulder. And now my left hand is going to sneak back to take hold of the chair that's behind me. And then I've got the chair behind me, so now I can roll my left shoulder towards the sky. Yes. And I've got the feedback from the chair. I'm holding on to the chair with both hands. And maybe I'm up a little higher with that right hand. That's okay. Although I know some of you can go closer towards the earth. Both legs pressing firmly. I'm turning the chest towards the sky. And then let's turn the head to look down at that right foot just for a moment. And then those that can, turn the head to look in the frontal plane of the pose. Right? So you're looking straight ahead. Shoulder blades down the back. It's like you're trying to lengthen the crown of the head out of the skull. Nice. And then pressing through the feet. Inhale. Come back to standing. Turn the feet parallel. Carefully step the feet back together. And then let's roll the shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Forward, up, back, and down. Good job. All right, second side. So I'm placing my chair to the left, trying not to knock over my cup of tea. Very important. Protect the tea at all costs. Then let's try our Tadasana again. Planting the feet well. Index toes parallel. Hands come to the top of the pelvis. I'm pressing the pelvis down, lengthening through the crown of the head. Nice. And then fingertips come to touch over the shelf of the heart. While inhaling, bend the knees and step the feet wide. Step the feet wide. Stretch through the arms just because you can. And then exhale, bring the hands back to the hips. Now it's the right heel that swings out slightly. The left foot turns out from the root. Bend the knee, lift the heel, let this leg get organized. Then plant the heel and straighten the leg 99.9%. Right hand to right hip. Inhale the left arm up towards the sky. Exhale. Remember, we're aiming for that top corner that's the farthest away from you. And then I'm pressing the hand on that corner. Look at how that allows you to lift the torso. Then we extend the right arm out from the collarbone. Nice. Don't lock that left knee. Don't do it. Beautiful. Imagine you were going to stretch your yoga mat with your feet. So it's like the left foot is pressing forward and the right foot is pressing back. That actually helps you out a lot because it keeps you on that back outer edge of the right foot. Beautiful. Right hand to right hip. Now we're finding the seat of the chair, or if you're dealing with a kitchen chair, maybe you're holding on to the outer edge towards the seat. Beautiful. Still rolling, right shoulder towards the sky. And then again, extending the arm from the collarbone. Shoulder blades down the back, lengthen both sides of the torso. Nice. Then right hand back to the right hip. This is where we might have to move the chair even closer. And then that left hand is going onto the leg of the chair. If you've got bars on your chair, right, you're dealing with a folding chair like me, maybe you're on the bar of the chair. And then that right hand sneaks behind you to grab the edge or the top of the chair, whatever you can grab hold of. And then now you've got the feedback of the chair as you roll that right shoulder up towards the sky. And I'm leaning into the top of the chair a bit, getting that support, and I'm holding it in place. And then we turn the head to look down at the left foot. Nice. Reach through the crown of the head. Be a turtle. A turtle extending its neck out of its shell. Nice. And then turn your face into the frontal plane of the pose. Beautiful. Pressing through the feet, so strong. And it's that strength and stability of the feet that now allows us to inhale, exhale, come back up to standing. Good job. Turn the feet parallel. Walk the feet back together. Let's take an Uttanasana. I'm going to offer it up if you have a folding chair to take Uttanasana like this. If you don't have a folding chair, you can just take regular Uttanasana. And maybe you're even, so if I didn't have a folding chair but I wanted to take a sweet Uttanasana, I might rest my forearms on the seat of the chair I did have, and then rest my forehead. Others, if you've got a folding chair, fold it up and have the bottom of the bucket seat facing away from you. So mine's got a cushion, the seat of the chair, the part you put your butt on is facing me. And then I'm taking the top of the chair into my hip crease. If it feels too hard, you could absolutely put a blanket over it. And then I'm using my hands to push the chair into my hip crease as I fold my torso over it. I can then walk my hands down the chair. And so I'm keeping my hands pressing the chair into my hip crease as I let the head go down. And if you wanted to be even fancier, if you have a block nearby, you can kind of wedge the block between your forehead and the chair so then the head can rest as well. And I am putting a fair amount of my weight into the top of the chair, while at the same time pulling the chair into my hips, into my hip crease there. And again, your alternative is to be with your arms on the seat of your chair, head resting on your arms, and if you need to build up height there, you do it. It's a nice way to release tension from the body. Beautiful. Breathing here. And then 2 come out. If I've got the block, I'm taking it away, putting it to the side. Then I take my hands to the chair again. I'm pushing the chair into me, sliding my hands up the chair to come up. Those of you with the head resting, you just soften the knees and come to standing. Then I'm opening my chair again, putting it at the foot end of my mat with the seat facing towards me. We're going to come back down onto the floor, and we're going to take a version of bridge pose with the seat of the chair. So I'm just switching cameras so you can see what I'm doing. Beautiful. I've got my block nearby. Maybe I've got 2 blocks nearby, but I think for this one block is enough. And so we're taking our version of Setu Bandha Sarvangasana here. So I'm coming close to my chair. If I've got a cold metal or wooden chair and I want to put a blanket on it, I do it. Then I'm coming back and down. I'm going to put my calf muscles on the chair, and I have to kind of scooch myself a little bit forward. And then I'm going to press my calves into the chair to lift my pelvis. And then I'm sliding my block underneath my pelvis. Some of you might like the extra height of a second block. You can try it. I feel like it's a little much. I feel like 1 block is enough, but you could definitely try it. 1 block feels more restful. If your feet are getting cold, you want to put your socks back on, now is a good time to do it. But this is how we are taking our inversion today. So I've got my calf muscles on the seat of a chair. I've got my pelvis on a block that I inserted after I came down. Back of the neck is long. Arms could be out to the side. Hands could be on the lower frontal ribs. Just taking a few breaths here. It's especially nice if you've been having low back issues. You could even put a bolster under your pelvis. If a block felt like it was too hard, you could do a couple folded blankets. Lots of different ways to work with this. And then we can take a little variation here. We can take the soles of our feet together and rest the edge of the feet on the side of the chair. And again, if it's hard metal, you want to put a blanket there. It's a nice way to work. So now the pelvis is still elevated. I've got the soles of the feet together. The knees are falling out to the side. If for any reason it felt too intense, you could just skip it. Maybe you're there for a moment, but I'm pressing the soles of my feet together. The outer edge of my foot is kind of resting on the edge of the chair and the top of the chair, but I've got big feet, so your experience may vary. Nice, breathing here. And then scooping the knees together, sliding my calf muscles onto the chair again. I'm going to press the legs into the chair to lift the pelvis, take the block out, and bring the pelvis to the floor. Take a breath here. And then carefully, we're going to extract ourselves from this situation. So I bend the knees into my chest, and then I roll to one side. We're going to move the chair out of the way and then set ourselves up for Savasana. I want to do a little bit of pranayama in our Savasana. So we've got a little extra time. So I've got my blanket ready to go. I'm going to take my 2 blocks underneath my upper thighs. If I have it nearby, maybe I put on another blanket. Maybe I put a bolster on top of me. Right? So I'm setting myself up well. Beautiful. Okay. So from here, we're going to open our mouths wide first. Open your mouth wide, stick the tongue out, stretch the tongue, stretch the jaw, stretch the throat. Gorgeous. Then bring the tongue back into your mouth and bring just the lips back to touch. We're going to do the Durga Pranayama. It's been a while since we've done this one in this class. It's super simple. It's just a 3-part yogic breath, which is almost a misnomer because we don't actually separate the sections of the breath. It just means the parts of the body that we're breathing into. So go ahead, exhale fully, let go of all the breath you currently have. And then inhale into the belly, rib cage, collarbones. Exhale, collarbones, rib cage, belly. Inhale, belly, rib cage, collarbones. Exhale, collarbones, rib cage, belly. Last one, inhale, belly, rib cage, collarbones. Exhale, collarbones, rib cage, belly. Now come back to normal breath and let go of yourself completely. Let loose yourself completely. And let yourself rest here in stillness and silence, knowing now there's nothing to do. Letting one strand of your awareness come back to hear my voice. Do a little scan of yourself and see if you're ready to move. Because if you're not, you can just stay where you are. You don't have to get up unless perhaps you're time bound, or maybe you are just ready to move. And if you are, then you're going to start by deepening the breath. Deepening the breath, coming back to the surface of the body. Moving fingers, moving toes, moving ankles and wrists. And then as you feel ready, exhale, gather the knees into the chest. Give yourself a hug. Give yourself a hug like you were hugging your very best friend. And then slowly roll to your right side. Pausing there on the right hand side, just feeling the earth beneath you. And then the head's going to be the last thing to arrive. Eyes remain closed. You're going to push the floor away to come back up to a seated position. Nice. Tailbone descending, crown of head ascending. Let's take the hands together in front of the heart. Lift the sternum to the base of the thumbs. Broaden the collarbones. And on an exhalation, let the chin move forward and down. Bowing to the seat of the soul. Bowing to that divine inner wellspring of kindness, compassion, patience, and joy. The light in me is deeply honored by your light, grateful for your practice, and humbled by your presence. And in case no one's told you yet today, I love you. And I'm convinced of your capacity to continue crafting a life worth living. Thank you so much for being here. Namaste. Good job, everybody. Well done. Thanks